The Rescue Worker.
In 1979, two families in East Germany undertook a bold and remarkable journey. They planned and prepared to escape the oppressive regime of East Germany and reach freedom.
Their plan was risky. It required them to sacrifice nearly everything they owned. In their pursuit of freedom, they let go of their homes, cars, and belongings.
The two families worked carefully together to construct a hot air balloon. Finally, at 2 a.m. for a certain location, they lifted off. The journey was dangerous. Several things went wrong, but they reached freedom in West Germany.
This story serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes letting go of material things can lead to greater rewards and even salvation in the most unexpected ways. We're looking at sacred spaces, intentional moments in our day when we can meet with Jesus. We want to grow deep roots in Him, to have a genuine relationship with Him.
Today, we'll look at fasting as a sacred space. Fasting is often misunderstood. The families in our story found freedom by letting go. Fasting can create a similar spiritual journey for us. When we fast, we intentionally let go of something to create space in our lives to connect more deeply with Jesus.
Fasting holds no power. Rather, the power is in who we are meeting when we fast. Jesus uses these surrendered moments to draw us closer to Him.
So, Rebecca, what is fasting? Pastor Matt Moore offers a helpful definition. He says, fasting is abstinence for spiritual purposes. He clarifies that abstinence for its own sake is just self-discipline. Fasting has a spiritual purpose.
So, what do we fast from? Most obviously, it can be food, but it can also be other things as well.
Let's make an important point. God does not command us to fast. There is no "thou shalt fast" in the Bible. Yet, the Bible is full of instances of fasting.
Jesus spoke briefly about fasting in Matthew 6, verses 16 to 18. He assumes his followers will fast. He doesn't command them, but he assumes they will. So, what are some biblical reasons that Jesus would expect his followers to fast?
It is always important to ask, what's the point? Don Whitney, in his book Spiritual Disciplines, outlines 10 biblical reasons for fasting. Pastor Matt Moore adds one more to the list. We cannot go through all of them, but let's touch on some. Jesus' kingdom people fast because they hunger for more. They recognize that they desire something or someone that the world does not offer. Fasting is one way to draw near to the one who fills their hunger.
Kingdom people fast to worship and show their love for God. In Luke chapter 2, Anna is described as worshiping God with fasting and prayers. Fasting as worship is intentionally finding your greatest joy and fulfillment in your King rather than in food or something else.
Kingdom people fast to seek God's guidance. Several times in the book of Acts, Paul fasts and prays before choosing elders for a church. Fasting is a way to remind ourselves of our dependence on our King, His wisdom, and His guidance.
Through fasting, we can show our concern for God's kingdom work. Fasting is also a way of helping others, of demonstrating God's kingdom. Speaking through Isaiah, God described a fasting that poured itself out for those in need. And finally, Fasting can strengthen our prayer life. Many times in the Bible, fasting happened at the same time as prayer. As Don Whitney wrote, fasting doesn't change God's hearing so much as it changes our praying.
Fasting is not a way to manipulate God or to prove anything. Instead, fasting is a way to bring our hearts into closer communion with our King's heart.
Great point, but can we get a little bit practical here? How can we do fasting actually?
Well, in his sermon, Pastor Moore outlined a few guidelines drawn from Jesus' teaching in Matthew chapter 6, verses 17 to 18. First of all, we go about the day as though it is a normal day. We are not trying to impress anyone. We are not trying to prove anything. Fasting is not about that. We're trying to draw closer to our King with some specific need we have.
Second, each time we want to reach for the thing we're abstaining from can be a reminder that we are seeking something more than this world can offer.
Third, we know our why. What specific purpose are we fasting for? It could be any reason that we just covered. As we fast, we position our hearts to seek our King's answer to our why. We create that sacred space.
Fourth, we fast with confidence. Jesus says our Father sees us, He knows us, why we're fasting, and what we need. And we know our Father. He knows how to meet our needs. He's all powerful, all knowing, and all present. Nothing is too hard for God, and He loves us. We can be confident that He will meet our need.
Fasting can be a powerful way to draw closer to Jesus. And the closer we come to Him, the more transformed we will be. Not only in who we are and how we live, but even in what we want and how we think.
Fasting is a potent way to put down deep roots in Jesus. As we meet with Him in the sacred space, we will come away knowing Him better and be changed. And with this closer relationship with Him, we are better prepared to rescue others with Him.